Fearlessly. I love bringing in the show. I know. I always love bringing in the show because we're always so excited to sit here and bring you guys these episodes. Like, you have no idea. It's just the fact that we're able to sit with so many people that, are in our community, that we've seen, that we've known for a long time, that are doing so many amazing things. And we've all seen each other grow so much. Right. It's just amazing and wonderful, and I love it. So I'm Sue Fearless.
And I'm Gigi.
And we make up Sit Fearlessly.
Whoop, whoop.
Yes. So we have another amazing guest here today, and I cannot wait to dive into her journey. Thank you so much for being here. We have Black Rose. And oh my God, before I dive in, I've known Black Rose for a long time. It's been a long time since I've seen you, but I've known you for a long, long time. And I was just sharing with you how the song from Allure, shout out to Allure, by the way, All Cried Out, just reminds me of you all the time. Like, I would never forget that. We were sitting in her apartment and just literally singing our hearts out.
We felt it. It came from the heart.
Yes. And that was like such a long time ago. And just, seeing you grow from then till now, and like, plant your seeds in our community, and all the hard work you've been putting in and everything you've been doing, girl.
Thank you.
You're killing it. We're very proud of you.
Thank you.
Yes, we're very proud of you. So, comedian, artist, actor, writer, activist. I love activist. I love
singer.
it. And singer, yes. Yes.
I heard that.
Yes. And also, I love how proud you are to be Afro Latina.
Yes.
And sharing that all the time. I love it so, so, so much. So share with us a little bit about your journey, and then we'll go into everything.
I guess I've always been someone that, since a young age, didn't want to be boxed in because I loved a lot of things so much. Some of the things that brought me into the arts, I was raised on 137 between Broadway and Riverside, right? And 80s.
Yeah.
It's a lot of activities happening around us. And the way for me to get away from all of that was to like enroll myself in everything, every after school program. Every day I wanted to make sure I was just getting home a little later so that I could just get my homework done and go to sleep and go back to school. Because that to me was some of a safe space. So we started with theater.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did theater. I was singing in church.
Nice.
The singing in church turned into rapping, right? We're from Harlem, so our little swag, a little energy is different. Back in the days, it was Harlem World. Everybody had the tattoos. Not me,
Right.
though. And that love for the arts transitioned as I got older, and I didn't want to be in certain industries because of the things that happen in all the industries.
Yes.
I thought maybe it was just that, but as you go along, you start seeing that it's everywhere, that you have to kind of protect your energy. Some friends told me, it's like, you should start doing comedy because you're funny as hell. Like, you're always like cracking some joke. Your brain's different, Rose. And I'm like, all right. And now I've been doing stand-up for a good 6 years, but I still do music when I want to for me. I'll still take an acting gig when I want to for myself. And yeah, that's like a one, two, three,
snippet, right?
1, 2, 3 of how I've transitioned throughout the years.
So tell me about Black Rose. Why Black Rose? What does it stand for? What does it signify for you?
Well, my name's Rosemary.
Okay.
Right? Growing up, Rosy was what everybody, Rosy. My mother, Romeri, she butchered my name. They didn't even know how to spell it for the birth certificate, y'all. But the social, they got it.
Right.
And I had to fly to DR one day for them to be like, what's your name?
Oh, wow.
I really loved the art of creating music. I was rapping. I was a female MC, so I was actually writing, and I wanted to be like a Wu-Tang energy. I wanted to talk about real stuff. I wanted to talk about real emotions. I called what I rapped about life rap. So, a lot of people want you to sexualize everything. And I'm very comfortable in my body. I believe that we have our feminine energy for a reason. But I didn't want to be this female rapper that was just like squatting down like Little Kim and twerking in every video. That, everything it's in its place in its time, but that's not how I wanted to initially come out. So I was rapping a lot, and we were trying to figure out what's gonna be my name. I was performing in in the Village a lot, and they're like, what are we gonna call you? And we were like, Rebel Rose. And my fiance during the time, which is how I already knew you during that time.
Yeah.
He looked at me one day, he was like, Black Rose. And I was like, because from death comes life. You know, like I was also a poet, so everything to me was deeper. I was like, yes. They're going to think death, but after death comes life.
Exactly.
You know, we're going to keep blossoming. And we are from Harlem, from New York, and we are the concretes that grew, you know, the roses that grew from concrete.
Yeah.
Right.
All of us. Like that. I feel like it's just a representation of a lot of us New Yorkers.
The Rose from Harlem.
Yeah.
And
That
that's your
song
song.
is so
Yes.
beautiful.
Shout out to Tiana Taylor. I love that song. Oh my goodness.
Okay,
Okay.
I'm not gonna go.
I love it.
Now the song's in my head.
So, okay, so you shared a little bit about what inspired you to make music. So, walk us through like the creative process of like writing. I know you write a lot of your own material, all of it,
Yeah.
right? Yes, you write all of your own material. So, walk us through the creative process. Because that's not easy.
I went through so many phases. You know, people tell you, oh, you have to write this format like this, and you have to write this format like that. When I started with music, my format was writing poems, and kind of like releasing. It was like kind of like a journal,
Yeah.
and I was taught by a close friend how to break that into bars,
Okay.
and that's how I started doing music. So and the inspiration came from whatever I was going through. So if I'm going through heartbreak, you know, that's the best music. And as I transitioned into writing sketches for off-Broadway, I got to work with different people that mentored me and showed me how to write for sketch, for a sketch world, because it's different to write for sketch than it is to make a skit.
Right.
Yeah, and people be like, oh, she's just a skit girl. I was like, no, Papi, I'm a writer. Like, I do this. You know, it really pulls out of me whenever I'm inspired by something funny. We could be eating, having a conversation. I'll be like, that's funny.
Right.
We could write that into a sketch.
Right.
Broadway. So that's the process. And with stand-up, I started more storytelling, thinking that, you know, people are like, you got to write. And I'm like, I get it, but I know my story, so I kind of want to say it, and I feel like I say it in a funny way. Until then, you get put into certain rooms that you're like, oh, I know, you need a little more laughs in between the story.
Right.
You need some more laughs in between the stories. So
Right.
you go back, and that's how I went back to learning how to write for stand-up. So it's been so
Yeah.
different for everything that I've done, but it has helped
Improvising
me.
is a skill.
Yeah.
It is a skill. So kudos to you. Yes. Improvising on the spot is a skill. So have you ever experienced writer's block, and how have you handled it?
I have. I remember, once again, the pressures of writing certain lyrics and trying to do what's trending, and, you know, like, that would really make me suck. I'm like, oh my God, I really want to do this. You know, you're like kind of stuck, and you have to experience life in order to write.
Yeah.
So going
So you go
outside,
outside.
but then I'm like an introvert extrovert. I need my inside
Yes.
time.
Yes.
And when I'm by myself at home, sometimes after maybe a writer's block, you know, if I go out for a few days and it gets tiring, you're drained, and then you start to rest. Once you get that rest, all of a sudden, like, my brain doesn't stop. It's like, then I have ADHD, so I'm like,
Right.
I gotta do this first. I gotta do that first. But that's like, I guess, I think every artist
Yes.
and everybody
creative.
that's an entrepreneur that's doing more than one thing, our brain's in 1,000 places, and I have to learn how to manage my brain, my brain waves.
Exactly. So what is one of your favorite songs that you've written, and why?
That I've written and why. Ooh. There's one that, like, I've been performing, and it's a bit more powerful, because I'm trying to bring more conscious speaking again. You know, like I said, like, it's more, you know, I have this song called What You Saying, which is very grown and sexy. I am a cannabis activist as well, so that was for the cannabis community.
Nice.
That was fun, that was great, but there's this one song that I'm trying to, like, finish and drop. It's taking like a year and a half. I'm like, esto es por algo. Something's trying to block this positive song that I really want to put out there. It's my voice range, I'm expressing it a lot more. Like, you see the range there, and I want to stick to doing some positive music. So it hasn't dropped yet, but that is my favorite right now.
Okay.
In my heart.
Oh, I
In my
love
heart of
that.
hearts.
I can't wait. Now we got something to look forward to. I love that.
Think of New York royalty. Like, think of us starting not having anything. And throughout the transition of the song, I'm explaining how, you know, you got to look in the mirror, and we are goddesses. We are kings and queens, and we got to push forward.
Yes.
So that's where I'm going right now.
I love that. I love that. I cannot wait to hear it. Yes. So, what has been your most challenging thing you face in the music industry, and what advice would you give aspiring artists?
I'm gonna say this is all industries. It's wanting to create, and something or some people blocking those opportunities, whether they know that they're doing it purposely, or, you know, the fear of people want to see you do good but not better than them. So building with people that you really start to care about, and maybe them, I don't want to say stabbing you in the back, but you seeing that they're not as invested in your goals as you are in theirs. It's not really a team effort. It's a lot of people that use people in the industry. And yeah, you know, if you have a talent, you want someone to hire you and use your talent, but losing maybe some acquaintances, friends, people that you think are so close to you as time goes by. Those are heartbreaks. People don't really talk about, you know, they talk about heartbreaks of boyfriend, girlfriend, husband, wife, but there's a lot of friendship heartbreaks that we go through as well.
Yeah, that's so challenging. I feel like we need some sort of guide a little bit on that, because it just, I've been hearing it happen so much. I've experienced it, and it's like, it's hard. How do we deal with that? And especially if the other person is not really understanding where they went wrong and not taking accountability, it's so difficult, and it can hold you back a little bit. You can say, stay home and want to cry about it.
I've done it. I've cried. You know, you gotta purge. You gotta purge the situation. And one of my favorite books is The Four Agreements. So, you know, one of those agreements is take nothing personal.
Yes, exactly.
I feel like I've been jumping timelines. Like now, it takes a lot for me to be really upset and hurt, because I just be like, well. I got to think of this moment right now. I can think of what happened in the past. I can't think too much about the future and get anxiety. I got to think about what I have to do right now and enjoy what's happening now.
Exactly. And we can't care what anybody thinks of us. We cannot.
No.
We cannot. Some people are going to love us. Some people are not. And that's okay.
Right. And if we did care, we wouldn't be here.
That's
we wouldn't
it.
be sitting here.
So comedy for 6 years now. I did not know that.
Yeah, stand up for 6 years, sketch is 15.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. Time flies.
Time
you don't say how that happened.
I know.
Time be flying.
So
I love
tell
it.
me, yes. Oh my God. So what got you into it? What?
You know Nueva York, right? John. Well, I said his government. We family. He one day was like looking at me. He was like, "You should do stand up. Like, try working with Tommy, T5K, and Ivan. They're doing this show in Washington Heights, Inwood, and do the competition." And I kept going and doing like 3-minute sets, and I, you know, started getting better at it. And my first month, I was called to do Caroline's, which was like nerve-wracking. But by that first month, I did have, with those 6 3-minute set competition, I had like a 10-15 already.
Okay.
So I was able to do Caroline's, which I'm glad, because now they closed. I was like, wow, I'm glad I was able to grace that stage. But I have to shout out right now, Comedy in Harlem.
Yes.
Comedy in Harlem, only Black-owned comedy club that we have here in New York City. And I love Jamie, I love Nikki, I appreciate them so much. They give us all a platform. Not just big comedians, but us up-and-coming comedians, a chance to grace their stages.
Yeah. So how is it preparing?
Like for a set?
I know you go outside, you get your inspiration from everyone, but how is it preparing? Because it's different when you're there, the spotlight is on you, and it's like, all right, go.
I guess because I've done theater since young, that doesn't scare me anymore. I do get nervous with certain rooms.
Okay.
Like when I first started comedy, our Black brothers and sisters, they tough to make laugh. You know? You're like, oh man.
Right.
If Uncle John ain't laughing, you know, I suck. But it has turned out to be some of my best audience. The
Yeah.
Black and brown people, are my Puerto Rican cousins. I talk about being a proud Afro Latina Dominican from Harlem. So I talk about myself. It's
Yeah.
my life experiences, so it makes it a little easier. And I learned how to add those tags into the set to make things funnier.
Yeah.
So I make fun of myself. I make fun of my mom.
Yeah.
They love when I.
Oh my God, we love
They love
your
when
mom.
I talk like my mom.
We love your mom. Yes. God bless her. We love your mom.
Maybe I
Yes,
hate
I love that. So how do you know how to pick on people in the audience?
I don't do that too much. Actually,
Okay.
I'm not like I can roast
Right.
people. I so can
Yes.
roast people, but I don't want to like hurt people's feelings at the same time. But
Yeah.
if there are hecklers, that's what we call them, and sometimes you got to know how to like figure out if you're gonna cut that heckler short or if you're gonna entertain them a little. Is it gonna mess
Right.
up your set? How much time do I have? So I might have a 5-minute set, 7-minute set, 15 or 30-minute set. Like if I have only 7 to 10 minutes on stage, I'm not trying
You're not
to
gonna
pay
waste your
attention
time.
to
Yeah.
hecklers. Let me get through the jokes. And improv as much as I can in between
Yeah.
the set too, because that's what helps you develop. I know they tell us all the time, keep doing the same set, keep doing the same set. I'm like, nah, I gotta be able to remix this. That's how I could
Exactly.
test myself.
Yeah. So what has been the most challenging aspect of being a female comedian in the industry?
We do have to work harder, right? There's a lot of people that want to compete, like I keep saying this, there's no need to compete. There's so much opportunities for everybody.
Right.
Yeah.
Anybody can put together a comedy show. Anybody, you could be stuck trying to stay in a circle and staying in your same circle, but you have to try to expand elsewhere. So there is certain rooms that might give us more of an issue to get into those rooms.
Right.
If you hear what I'm saying. You need to be like the token Latina in order to get into certain rooms that they're like, all right, Rose, you've been doing this, but you got to go downtown. You got to hit the white rooms. You got to do this. You got to do that. And you try to go to those rooms and they're like, well, you need to be recommended by like these other comedians and you have to have been on TV already and you need to do that. And I'm like, yeah, but I'm funnier than that person there.
Right.
Right.
But
Yeah.
at the end of the day, you can't even complain about that. You just have to keep working
Stay the course.
and your work will show and people will
Yeah.
start calling you. Like I don't call people to put me on a show. I wait for my name to ring bells and they call me.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. I love it. Well, what's the funniest thing that ever happened to you on stage?
The fun that happened to me on stage or like a joke maybe that I told somebody. I've never fallen, thank God. I've never fallen, which just shows that I'm not part of the Illuminati, y'all.
There you go.
I think I was cracking jokes on somebody and I thought they were a couple and they were like a mom and son. And I was like, oh my God, my bad. I was like, I get it. I was a young mom too, Your son looks like your man.
Right.
He was like, "No, that's my mom." I was like, oh, my bad. I think those are some of the funniest moments that I've had.
Oh my God. So that is so funny. Your social media platform has been buzzing. Buzzing. I love it. So how has that impacted your career?
It's like ups and downs, right? Because this algorithm, whenever it decides to switch up on you, it just decides to switch up on you.
That's so true.
You have to. I post everything right on my page,
Yeah.
so like you never know. Like I might be cracking a joke one day, or I might be real serious about a certain
Right.
subject. And
Actually, let me shift that question because
Yeah.
I want to ask you that. How do you feel about a person that's versatile like yourself? And when people try to like put you in a box and like, no, if you're doing comedy, just do comedy roles on your social media platform. Why are you talking about this?
Yeah,
How do you feel about that?
I feel like they need to mind their business.
Yes.
I feel like they need to stop projecting their inability to
Yes.
multitask onto others. And I feel like everything that I've done and everything I represent makes me who I am. And
Yeah.
that is what helps me move forward.
Yeah.
I'm sitting at maybe like 65K now, but I have friends that have a lot more, right? But and people that have less. And we're all still on the same boat.
Exactly.
Thank you.
So it really
Exactly.
like it's a tool,
Yes.
but sometimes could get overwhelmed with certain things that hit, and I'm like, oh my God, I can't reply to all these comments. This is a lot right now. You know, me va a pasar el día entero ahí.
Right.
And the clapping back, I used to maybe clap back a little harder back in the days, but
Yeah.
now there's restrictions. I'm trying to lose what I work for.
Exactly.
But I kind of know how to tell people that those are the people that I'll roast fast.
Yeah,
But I
yeah.
do it like in an educated way, but
Right.
still showing sarcasm. So,
Right.
estate quieto, like I'm not.
Yeah, but listen, those people sometimes are important to have. You gotta have the haters, and sometimes the haters love you so much on the low.
I swear to God, I've roasted people back, and then be like, "Yo, I'm gonna follow you. I was funny.
Right.
You got it. You got it." I'm like, "Wow,
Exactly.
you just wanted you masochists.
Exactly.
wanted the
You wanted to
attention.
poke the bear."
Yep, exactly. So I don't want to spend too much time on this, but I do want to ask you, how important do you think talent management representation is in your career and in other industries?
If you have a great talent manager that's not going to take advantage, perfect. But
Right.
in the age of social media now, I feel like a mentor is more important than a manager or a
Yeah.
talent manager. I feel like someone that can mentor you
Yeah.
and show you other avenues, show you how you could expand different ways is a little bit more important because let's be serious, we got the Hawk Tui girl getting
Right,
paid
yes.
$30K just to show up.
Yeah.
And she's like, I don't even want to be known as that. You know, like she didn't even
Right.
want that fame, but she's going to take the money. And,
Of
you know,
course.
everybody, whatever your hustle is, whatever your hustle. Somebody want to give me
Right.
$30K for saying something
Exactly.
dumb, I'm going to take it and use it for good.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm going to be Robin Hood in this.
Right.
But it's
Because-
easy to blow up.
Yeah. Well, that's why I asked that question, because some people do feel like, oh, I need representation to get me into certain rooms because I don't have access to them and things like that. So, you know, there could be a lot of people taking advantage of individuals
Yeah.
because of that. Yeah.
Integrity is important
Yeah.
out here. We live, unfortunately, in a world that it's more who you know than talent.
Right.
But you can't let that discourage you.
Right.
Right.
Because everybody's going to tell you, well, this is the only way you can make it. And it's not. There's
Right.
thousands of ways that you can achieve a goal.
Yeah.
I could be wanting to do music, doesn't mean I want to blow up like Beyonce.
Right.
Like, we don't even have the same goals. I just want to
Right.
create good music that my friends can listen to. You know, I just want to create a sitcom that represents us.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be this, you know, I have to make it up here, you know. Like, at the end of the day, the higher you go, the less they care about you.
Yeah. And I feel like you never know what's going to hit. Sometimes you never know. It's like keep going the course, and one day something out of nowhere might be what hits, something
Yeah.
you never even thought. So yeah, definitely stay the course. So really quick, I know you huge representative of Afro Latina. So how do you feel we're represented? Do you feel well represented? What can we improve on?
We're getting better at it in terms of people actually vocalizing that we have talent like this in our community. You know, Afro Latinos, we're trending now.
Ow.
I don't like the word Latinx, but you know,
Yeah.
I was cracking jokes about it. I was like, let somebody like white agents be like, we need a Latinx. I'm be like, hey. and you know, they are giving us way more opportunities, but creating your own opportunities
Yes.
is
Which we
the
have that
best.
opportunity now, yes.
Is
Yeah.
the best. You know, like
Yeah.
you decided I'm gonna do my podcast, I'm gonna go rent the space, I'm gonna go
Right.
do this.
Yeah.
You know, and anything I do, I'm like, all right, if I'm not getting booked in some of these places, I'm going to produce my own shows.
Right. Yes.
You know, it's as simple
Absolutely.
as that. You know, I need to
Absolutely.
record something. Wait till I have the money to get to a studio. I'm gonna go record it.
Right.
It's
right.
better for you to invest in yourself because
Yeah.
there's no loss.
Right.
Because you invested in yourself. No matter what
Right.
money you put into it, whether it was 35K, 30K, there's people that recorded a whole movie on an iPhone. And is making it to these festivals, getting recognized.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So I'm going to shift gears really quick because I want to talk about this before we go.
Okay.
So you're very open about your dating life. So let's talk a little bit about the ghetto-ness that's going on. What's the dating scene? What are red flags that you've seen? What do you recommend?
You know my problem? Because I be so understanding what we go through in communities. I be trying to like put bleach in these red flags.
Yeah.
I'm, you know, that spiritual side of me is so understanding. I'm not promiscuous. I didn't date for a few years. You know, I take care of my mom. She's 83, so I'm not bringing someone home. And everybody got a roommate. I'm a little bit more private than trying to just link up with people or even letting someone come to my house. So, you know, unfortunately, I haven't found the one, or he hasn't found me, but I'm keeping my heart open. But keeping your heart open means that it will get hurt out here.
Right.
Because everybody is in such a journey, especially me being in entertainment, like is a 9-to-5 guy isn't looking at me like I'm a wife her.
Right.
I could be like, yo, you got this, that, but they're not gonna feel comfortable with me. I got to do a show at this time. You know, I have to do the shows at night.
Right.
I might have to go to the studio, graveyard shift, 12 to 6 in the morning. Like, they don't get that life. And then they're like, all right, so date people that are in the life.
I'm glad I didn't catch the eye roll.
I'll roll it for you. And it's just, you be seeing people like, oh, you're so talented. I love this about you. You want to water them, but they might be in this path that is just not the right time for you. So right now, I'm just leaving it to God.
I know.
Just leaving it to Jesus.
Yes, it's tough. It's tough.
But
out
I want
there.
love. I love love. Love is
Yes.
amazing. I think men and women need each other, and people need to just stop playing around.
Dating show. Yes.
Hello, you know, we gotta teach the youth a lot better.
That as well. Yes.
They are watching at a very young
Yes.
age.
That as
Parents,
well. Yes.
please pay attention to your kids
Yes.
and what they're doing, and what you're doing, because they're looking at you.
Yeah, and just be careful out there, guys. It's not
Ponte el
safe.
sombrero.
Exactly. It is not safe. Oh my God, thank you so much for being here today.
This was
Like, I
awesome.
appreciate you, yes, and made us laugh the entire time.
Thank you. You know what I'm here for.
Yes, exactly. So I want to close it off with asking you either what makes you fearless or what does fearless mean to you? In
Being
40
able
seconds.
to show up as yourself, whether you're happy or sad, because we need to be able to show all sides of us. You know, this is not we can't look at everything with rose-colored lens. So be yourself.
Yes.
At the end of the day.
Be yourself. I love that. That's what makes you fearless. I agree. Yes. Well, this was another episode of Sit Fearlessly. I'm your girl, Sue Fearless.
And I'm Gigi.
Thank you, Black Rose.
Thank you, y'all. Thanks for having me.
And we'll be back soon.
Ashe.